Revelation 7 begins with four angels holding back the four winds of the earth. What do these winds mean?
The four winds symbolize the power of judgment. These winds can harm the earth, the sea, and the trees. This means that God's judgment is being held back for a time. Then another angel says, "Do not harm the earth until we put a seal on the servants of God." This means that God marks and protects His people even during judgment.
Does Revelation 7 simply show what happens after Revelation 6?
Not only that, Revelation is not always written in simple time order. In chapter 6, the earth is already harmed. But in chapter 7, the angels are told not to harm the earth yet. This shows that Revelation 7 is not only about what happens after chapter 6, it also shows what God is doing while judgment is taking place. Even during judgment, God protects His people.
Does the seal of God mean that believers will never suffer?
No. The seal of God does not mean that believers will never suffer in their bodies. They may still face persecution, pain, and hardship. But God keeps their faith from being destroyed. Just as God protected Israel during the Exodus, and just as faithful people were marked in Ezekiel 9, God's people in Revelation are marked as belonging to Him.
Then the 144,000 appear. Should we understand this number literally?
Numbers in Revelation are often symbolic. The 144,000 are described as 12,000 from each tribe of Israel. But this number should not be understood only as ethnic Israel. It represents the complete people of God who belong to the Lamb. The number brings together the 12 tribes, the 12 apostles, and the fullness of 1,000.
The 144,000 look like an army ready for battle. Do they fight like soldiers?
They are described with the image of an army, but their battle is not like the battles of this world. They do not fight with violence. They follow the Lamb. They resist the power of empire and Satan through the way of the cross. They live out the gospel of God's kingdom in every part of life.
After that, a great crowd appears. No one can count them. What does this mean?
This great crowd comes from every nation, tribe, people, and language. This shows that God's salvation is not limited to one nation. It reaches all nations. God's promise to Abraham is fulfilled as people from every nation become part of God's people.
The great crowd wears white robes and holds palm branches. What do these things mean?
The white robes show purity and victory. The palm branches also symbolize victory. The people cry out, "Salvation belongs to our God who sits on the throne and to the Lamb." This means that salvation is not completed by human strength. Believers must obey and witness, but salvation finally depends on God's power and the grace of the Lamb.
Revelation often uses paradox. Do we see that in chapter 7 too?
Yes. In Revelation 5, John hears about the Lion of Judah. But when he looks, he sees a lamb that was killed. True strength is shown through sacrifice, not violence. True victory comes through the cross, not domination. Revelation 7 teaches the same kind of truth.
The great crowd washed their robes in the blood of the Lamb and made them white. How can blood make clothes white?
That is the mystery of the gospel. Usually, blood makes clothes red, but the blood of the Lamb makes believers clean. Through the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, sinners are washed, and made able to stand before God. This salvation does not come from human goodness. It comes from the blood of the Lamb.
The last part of Revelation 7 is very comforting. What does it mean that God spreads his tent over his people?
It means that God lives with his people. They will no longer be hungry or thirsty. The Lamb will be their shepherd. He will lead them to springs of living water, and God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. This shows the end of suffering, the gift of rest, and eternal life with God. Revelation 7 gives comfort in the middle of judgment. Believers may suffer in this world. They may face persecution, pain, and tears. But they are not abandoned by God. God has sealed them. The Lamb has redeemed them by his blood. In the end, they will rest forever in God's presence. They may look defeated in the eyes of the world, but in God's kingdom, they are victorious.